What a day to be back, Mets fans. The Mets hold on by the skin of our teeth, handily defeating the Marlins today, led by our boy Pete Alonso. Some questionable moves, but obviously we got to give credit where credit is due. Clay Holmes, 6 innings, 1 hit ball, a couple of walks, but he dug down when it mattered most. Who would have thought out of all the pitchers coming into this season, Manaea, Peterson, Senga, Montas, Canning, McGill, Blackburn, it would be Clay Holmes providing us with the you-know-what to propel us to potentially a one-game playoff tomorrow. We desperately need help from our friends over in Milwaukee. Yes, the ones who kicked our rear ends earlier in the season. We need it so desperately from them. And yes, we're the ones that put ourselves in this position. We could thank nobody but ourselves, but I'm going to try to keep it positive. I've had a lot of negativity coming through me a lot lately, been praying about it, trying to keep positive vibes, as our boy Dan Bartels, who may be joining us shortly, always tries to keep those positive vibes, and I am here for it. Now we got to give some special shout outs today. Obviously, the top of the lineup, Francisco Lindor doing his thing, gets the hit, gets a walk, RBI, big RBI. Alonso, the big 2 for 4. We all know what he did with the missile. Obviously, the big double. He goes 2 for 4, 2 RBIs, 1 home run. He literally set the table for us, and we needed to get out early. It almost felt as though today's win might have been one of those wins where Perez, we all know how good he's been this season and how great he's probably going to be in the future, allowing us not to get more runs earlier, but those 2 runs were able to be held up. Then we got to give some credit to the bullpen. Obviously, Brooks Raley comes in, and we didn't mess around. Tyler Rogers, Edwin Diaz, regardless of the lead, the Mets were going to Diaz. We saw that a couple other relievers were warming up in the meantime, but we're not playing around. They go right to Diaz. One thing I need to address really quickly, McNeil, can you control your emotions early on? Yes. Was that a low ball? Might have been a low ball, but too close to take. There is no ABS system to help you out. He was this close to getting thrown out earlier in the game, which cannot happen. You got to use your head there. And one other thing, even though it didn't come back to bite us, I would like to have seen Mendoza pinch run for Albie late in the game. I know they talked about it on the broadcast, potentially Torrens coming in, getting hurt. I wouldn't pinch run with Torrens. I would have used somebody else on the bench. And then, maybe a Cedric Mullins. What is he on this team if he can't be a pinch runner? Clearly, Tyron Taylor's running away with the starting role here. That would have been an ideal for me. Put more leverage on the pitching staff. But the Mets close it out, that 5-0 lead, that 5-0 win. I am stoked, going to be locked in later on for this game. Man, what a season it would be for us to get into the playoffs. And I had a lot of things happening while I was away, and I appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. Good vacation overall, but yes, I was locked in to every single game regardless. We have a couple of things over on X, something I wanted to talk about. Yes, it's a little bit on the negative side, but I always got to address positives and negatives. Today overall was a positive. Home, 6 innings, 0 earned runs, 1 hit, 3 walks, 4 Ks. And out of all the pitchers coming into the year, Clay Holmes is going to be the only starting pitcher walking away with a 3.5 ERA or better. Now, we can start having that discussion. I know we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but when we're having this discussion, who shall lead this team into the postseason? Are we 100% after Nolan McLean? Who are you throwing? Do you trust Sproat over Clay Holmes? Do you trust Tongue over a Clay Holmes? Probably not. And Clay today showed, listen, Miami ain't a great lineup. We all know that. I'm not going to say they're anything but what they actually are, but if you're thinking who I would throw game 2 in a potential must-win wildcard game, I think it's got to be Holmes. And they talked about potentially tomorrow going with an opener. I'm totally against that. Just have a plan going in. Everybody's available. Literally everybody. Outside of Nolan McLean. You're not going to throw him. I got to address one other thing. Ronnie Mauricio. Yes, he got the hit late when it kind of was, I don't want to say didn't matter, but he looks like he's swinging at literally everything out of his hand. Go back, look at those strikeouts. The ball's hitting the plate. The ball's inside in the batter's box. It's almost as if he's predetermining whether or not he's going to throw the ball. But we might swing the bat. But we might be stuck with him. Brett Baty's season ending. Maybe not playoff ending. We don't know, but it's a lot. I mean, he's probably out. Let's be honest. But that's terrible. One of our guys who's been one of our most clutch guys throughout the month of September, and it's terrible to see. You saw Andy Martino tweeting out before this game today that the Mets probably have him locked in to be the starter next year. Probably locked in to be the starter next season at third base, which I hope. One less thing, but let's go over his September stats. 271, 775 OPS. Brett Baty, couple clutch home runs 2 games ago against Chicago, 2 for 4, the 3 RBIs, the 1 home run. The power numbers haven't been there throughout the month of September, but he's played very solid. And his defense has been drastically improved from last year to this year, and will probably only get better in the offseason, a position that we could pencil in. But we could talk about the postseason in another episode. But with that said, I'm going to get to a couple of your guys' comments. If you're enjoying this video, I ask you to like, subscribe if it's your first time here. Consider becoming a member, and it's so good to be back after a week off. I know Dan was holding it down, but I am back. Maybe my tan's looking good, maybe a little too tan, burnt in a few places, but I'm excited for this run, and tomorrow is going to be so huge for us. But with that said, let's kick it off with Brad. Brad, let's go Mets. Clay Holmes, yeah. One guy who we didn't probably expect, Brad, earlier in the season to be our most consistent starter, Clay Holmes. Who would have thought? And maybe, just maybe, he puts even a bigger emphasis on this offseason, knowing it's going to be year number 2 going into a starter role next year. He might be even better. So that's something we can look forward to. GW, well, we live to fight another day, Ray. Yes, sir, bro. Look, we're all going to be locked in. A lot of races going on. You saw the Detroit's got to win. The Red Sox clinch. Boy, look, everybody knows I'm not the biggest fan of Mendoza. I think he's an okay manager. If I were to rank him throughout Major League Baseball, probably in the 17 to 21 range, which is okay, but he makes a lot of decisions that make you scratch your head. And another thing I want to address, and I tweeted this out. I know I got a lot of people that were like, oh, what the hell? I'll tell you this. When the people tell you that early in the season doesn't matter as much as now, April, May, June, how does that feel now? 2 years ago, what's going on, Dan? As Dan Bartels joins you, my co-host. 2 years ago, we missed the playoffs or the division by 1 game. And now we're looking at something else where it's like, maybe those games in April and May and June when we're kind of punting, bringing in the Ryan Staniks or bringing in the guys that we're bringing up from double and triple A into those 2-run games where maybe we have a chance to fight back, but now we go into the bottom half of an inning and all of a sudden we're down 4 or 5 runs. Those games we now know, which we've always known, especially you guys locked in on the channel, but those games matter just as much as these games. Dan, let me get your thoughts on today's W, my man.
Well, Ray, unbelievable game for the New York Mets. Let's go. And this team is showing us signs that they can get into the playoffs. And it's going to come down to the game tonight. The Reds and the Brewers. We will be watching that, making sure. Again, just let's go Brew Crew. You can't have Cincinnati win right now if you're the Mets. You've put yourself in an awful position, right? An awful position. So I think you really have to clean that stuff up. Today was good. I love that Diaz came in, Ray, at the end.
Yep.
I mean, showing that he is the best closer in the game, and got to bring him back. That will be something that we're definitely looking at. But right now, Pete Alonso, right? Another guy doing his thing for this team. So I don't know. It's been a crazy weekend. I mean, you want to talk about trying to come from behind. You talk about the Ryder Cup, U.S. They're trying, but it's not looking likely. So we'll see. But Ray, yeah, great stuff for the Mets. That's why I have all this stuff on, obviously.
I know. I saw you covered it.
Yeah.
Jim says, you're the best, but how are you psyched? We know that the Reds will either win out or the Mets will lose tomorrow. So that is the scenario, right, Dan? The Reds have tonight's game, tomorrow's game. If they lose one and we win tomorrow, we are in. If they win both, they're in. So they're in control of their own destiny. But, Jim, As I said, as I opened, I'm trying to channel my inner Dan Bartels and bring some positivity to the chat, to the live. I've been very negative this year, rightfully so. Anybody who says I don't have an obligation, not an obligation, but a right to be upset as much as you guys are with this roller coaster, but we've all seen it before. Arizona a few years ago, Arizona years back. All you got to do is get in the dance. And I have no idea outside of Noel McLean who I would trust, but you never know who gets hot. Who saw David Peterson coming out of the pen last year, or dare I say Ryan Stanek coming out of the pen last year, Dan, and doing what he did against the Dodgers? Or Sean Manaea dominating in game one and getting lit up later on in the series? We just don't know. Adrenaline is an amazing thing. And sometimes it makes you quiver and not play as big, but we got a lot of big-time ball players here. If I were to look at the top 3 out of 4 players between Lindor, Alonso, and Soto, they're big game players, as Pete's giving his post game right now. To me, they're big game players, and they could each themselves wreck a game. You need one other player to step up, whether it's Nimmo, whether I don't know what's going to happen with Vientos. I've kind of written that off a little bit, but he might be getting more opportunities with, if we're facing a lefty in the future down the line, or, obviously Brett Beatty's done for the season. So he might get more opportunities, or dare I say, who knows? Maybe we relight the candle, Dan, and get some Acuna magic in here. And I tweeted this out towards the end of the game, Dan. If Acuna could just hit a little bit, 730 OPS, a little below league average, I'll take it. What an up the middle this Mets team could have. Now, we saw us bring up Dylan Ross, who Dan and I have been talking about for a while. It's well overdue. I mean, I don't get it. The guy's got 80 strikeouts and 50 innings. Throws 100 plus miles an hour. He's got wicked movement. We understand the control issues, Dan, but could he be much worse than what we have in the middle of that bullpen? I'm wondering if tomorrow might be an addition for him, depending on what's happening for either this year, into the postseason or next season. What do you think about Dylan Ross and those comments?
Well, that's the thing. You don't call him up not to use him. Now every game matters, right? It's all hands on deck. Right. He will be utilized tomorrow. I do think that you have no other choice. I mean, Rogers was great. There was a lot of good things from tonight, right? And Helsley coming in. And it's like, there's certain instances where you look at it and you say, can this team be better? Like, yes, that was always a problem with the Mets, right? They were not consistent enough. And, not going to Helsley was kind of the point. Like, he'll be another guy, but do you trust him? Probably not. So I don't know. There's a lot of those things, Ray. We've talked about these decisions so many times over the course of the year. Like, Mendy needs to be a better game manager, right? MLB stuff. It's just crazy to think about. Like, I know I'm all over the place. A game like this shows that, hey, like Dylan Ross is going to be someone in the future, I think, too, that we're not even realizing. And, Ryan Lambert's going to be in that picture. Jack Wenninger is going to be in that picture eventually. There's a lot of talent to go around. But who starts tomorrow? That's really the question. Are you giving the ball to Dylan Ross in some weird opener situation? No, you're not. You're probably
no way.
Again, you could float Tong out there. He has the most amount of rest going into this game, but I don't think I'm going to go to Tong for tomorrow's start. So, again, I think Manaea has proven that he's probably a better reliever. It is what it is. He's just not a good starter. You were right about that, Ray. Like, they gave him too much money. And, yeah, I know I'm just rambling. It's frustrating, Ray, to sit here in some ways and say this team is still trying to sneak in. And the pressure we're feeling right now should not be pressure. Like, nobody should feel good about what is happening right now with the Mets. Like, yes, if they get into the playoffs, absolutely, they can go on a run. But to sit here and say, like, game 162 is coming down to this again, when we're just trying to sneak in this time, that's where the frustration is. Who knows if they're going to use Dylan Ross? But I think that they will because, again, he's such an electric arm, Ray.
You know what baffles me? I'm trying to look something up. Okay, here we go. The Cincinnati Reds. The Mets have a $380 million payroll. The Reds have a 119. The Mets have a more than 3x their payroll. And I know everything's not about payroll, but when you look at this, and I'm trying to stay positive, Dan is sucking me in, so it's his fault. clean shaven Dan is not the happy Dan. I'm learning that really quick.
I gotta be serious. I mean, it's just so many times, Ray, we've sat here and we've had those conversations about what this team should be. I still think they can get to that, right? Just sneak in. That's kind of the mentality at
That's
this
right.
point. You got to win tomorrow.
Who knows? And look, maybe you piggyback with Sprout. I don't know.
Right?
I don't know, but you figure it out once you're in there. And that's how I look at that. And a lot of Mets fans are coming at me earlier today because I said it's irresponsible the way this rotation was put together, relying on 3 rookies to propel us to the postseason. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. And that's on the general manager. But hey, if you go in and dare I say, beat LA in LA, it all is forgotten. That's how it is. But we shouldn't be in this position. But with that said, we'll get to a few more comments for today. Stanley checking in. Big win for our Mets. Gregory, great win. We need to score runs in the middle innings, and that has been this team's bugaboo. Absolutely. That's why, Dan, when we had Perez on the ropes early on, and you see Jeff McNeil throwing his thing, complaining, it just, I hate to see that, man. He almost got thrown out. What are you doing there, Jeff?
There's a lot of those conversations too, Ray. Like, no matter what happens, the Mets put themselves in this position. There's conversations that are going to have to be had. Like, I'm very bullish always about the Mets because I know that they're well run and they're willing to spend money. God bless you, Steve Cohen. You run this team in a lot of ways. David Stearns doesn't. And that's what's frustrating. He has another year. I hope he bounces back, learns from his mistakes. Hey, you can't lose Luis Severino and try to get that magic in a bottle again, capture that lightning and use it on a Frankie Montas. It's not going to work. So learn the lesson, back up, and use the money that Cohen is clearly trying to use to fund this team.
I see someone like Michael Marino tweeting out, well, the Mets are going to definitely get an ace this offseason. Who? First of all, who? Right. And if you've watched David Stearns, there were how many aces available this offseason? I never thought Manaea was a real ace. Nobody did. Come on. But you had, the Yankee, Max Fried, you have Corbin Burns, you had a lot of guys. And this offseason, you're gonna have the same thing. Will you go out there and get a Michael King? Will you get a Dylan Cease? Will you get any of those guys? I mean, there's a lot to be said. A lot. Get to a couple more comments before we wrap things up because I got to get running at the 20-minute mark. So we got a few more minutes. Andre says, great job by Holmes. Madeline, love you, Ray. Yes. Go Brews. Absolutely. Kev says, Brews giving rookie starting pitcher second start like they don't want Stearns to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, the Framber stuff's interesting, Ray. I don't think he's worth it. We've talked about it. And Holmes, shout out to him. I mean, really great season, top 10 in ERA. You made the transition well. And I'm looking forward to seeing maybe what year 2 holds for him as a starter.
Absolutely. And for those people, I see a lot of people tweeting out, commenting Frander Valdez. I wouldn't touch that guy with a 10-foot pole. You know why? When you see a pitcher intentionally drill their own catcher, it shows you everything. We already have enough clubhouse issues as it is. I assume somebody like Mike Puma, a bunch of friends of the show, Will Salmon, Ragazzo, somebody's going to have a scoop after this season as to what's going on. I saw somebody comment, well, you saw when the home run happened, it was Lindor and Alonso smiling into the camera. That's all you need to know with what's wrong with this team. I assume you're saying because we're behind that, they shouldn't be doing that. Who knows? We'll get to one or two more. Explosive said, so if the Reds lose we win tomorrow, Mets are in? Correct. Clay effing Holmes today from Steve, and we'll finish off with Bill. Clay redeemed himself after forgetting to cover home while he was checking his footing on the mound. Yeah. Believe me, we remember that. Dan, final thoughts as we close out today.
Oh, man. Yeah, this team, good win. Keep it moving. Keep it rolling. You have to believe in this team. This team might not believe in themselves. They might not believe in just the whole picture. I don't know. It's been a struggle all year. We always will try to be positive, right? Step number 1, get a win tomorrow. Let the rest take care of itself and let the Brewers hopefully get a win tonight. So
Hopefully, man.
God bless all of you. Let's go Mets, and
That's right.
let's go Team USA. Jets, Giants tomorrow. We got a lot going on the Sunday.
I want my Jets to lose out. Get me a quarterback. But shout out to you. You got Jackson. They're pulling the plug.
Let's
Good
go,
luck to you,
baby.
Giants fans. I don't have any hate towards the Giants. My Jets have sucked since I was in middle school. So who am I gonna hate?
I hear you.
I don't even hate the Bills. That's how bad it is.
Hey,
all right, guys, but let's go Mets. Let's get the win tomorrow. Let's go Brew Crew, and God bless. Take care.
Let's go.